Hey, America. Chef John. Alright, so this is the meal that we made, the black bean chicken, alright, and the rice. Alright, so a lot of people are like, why are your videos so long, dude? Alright, this is why they're so long, because I talk to you about what I'm creating. If you follow my show, you will become a much, much better cook, but you have to really follow along. I'm sorry to say. It's not just pop in, watch the chef for a little bit, get the recipe, and leave. Alright? Now, I'm going to tell you concepts and taste and flavor, and through that, how we created this dish here. Okay, there are 5 flavors, all right? And one of them is the new one, the umami or the meatiness. We have sweet, we have salt, we have bitter, and we have sour. Umami, okay? So, now let's apply that to the meal. Now, also, within the realm of taste and flavor, we have aroma. Here, I gotta turn this off. Good gracious, I almost copied their sound. Well, anyways, so all right. So on the smell arena of different smells, we can go from sour to bitter to earthy to beans, earthy, chicken, umami, ground garlic. Oh, it says pepper. Pepper would be high earthy. Garlic is like has root aromas to it. What we can go all the way around is bananas have a floral as well as a fruity. A flower has an earthy undertone to it, okay? So we can go through this whole concept of the aromas, all right? Now, we work the aromas on top of the plate. We all know if you shut your nose and eat the food, when you're a little kid, you can't stand the food, you can eat it, and you don't taste it, right? That's, mom's always saying, just plug your nose and eat it. Yeah, that's my mom wants to say it. Well, anyway, so we created this dish on this reason. One, I worked out so much, I sweat so hard, and I go into a point of acidosis, which is when my cells my body's gone beyond lactic acid, and it's in a point where it's starting to produce ammonia. So that means I'm not getting enough protein through my diet and through my workout. So I need to increase my protein and back down my starches a little bit. So that's why I came in with, all right, tonight's a chicken night. We had seafood last night, so we come with the chicken. I wanted to double up on that, on the protein, so I had the beans and the rice, and that doubles up on my protein right there, okay? Then, so I had this earthy chicken. I chose the rice. This is a sweet arborio rice, okay? Because this is a sweet and a savory dish combination, all right? We start with the chicken, very mild centered chicken. We lightly put the cumin on, lightly put the acid on. All right, so we've taken it to a place of, the acid that we used was lime juice. It's a little bit more on the bitter side than on the sour side, okay? The zest even more so on the bitter side. Remember that, we made some zest, okay? So we've got this beginning flavor of this light chicken with this earthy, sweet, meatiness to it. Okay, that's what chicken is. And then we've added this acid, we've added a little cumin, we added a little salt, and then the sesame seeds, and then we sauteed it in sesame oil. Okay, so the sesame oil has a very pungent aroma. Okay, the flavor is kind of gentle and mild into the back of the mouth, but the aroma is really powerful. So the aroma there is going to really work with the meat. So we put it on our meat. So we're stacking this. And so I'm using basically a white mirepoix with red peppers. All right, the red peppers for the sweet, the onions and the celery to build it up, give a little green, and the mirepoix flavor to add that rootiness to it, and a hint of bitter. Okay, now we go to the other side. We have the plum sauce. Okay, we have to work the plum sauce in conjunction with the cumin. That's our two things that are running into each other. Okay, the plum sauce and the cumin. So you got to make it so the cumin disappears underneath the sweet of the plum sauce, but still can be picked up by the black bean and by the lime. Okay, because lime is the #1 flavor. Lime, cilantro, lime. Sour cream, lime, chipotle, #1 flavor flavors in the country right now, have been for a while. Well, it might have changed. It was like 4 years ago when demographics are out and stuff. Well, anyways, so I'm taking all this and then building a sweet sauce that has a little savory, has a little chicken in there, a stock in there, right? And then I build it with a little heat and a little sugar. We put a little sugar in the chicken in the beginning. Remember that too? So we had that combination. So the sweet was working against the bitter and the sour in the very beginning, okay? So we had this combination as it raises all the way up. So what I did was I created a meal, not just chicken and black beans and garlic. I created a very fine line fusion, and I also created something that my body was really wanting. I haven't had any citrus. I've been eating a lot of bananas, so my body enjoyed the citrus. I haven't had rice for a while. I've been eating pastas and tuna sandwiches, so my body really enjoyed the rice. The rice and beans make an extra protein for me, so tomorrow on my workout, I did a triple workout yesterday. I did an hour plus workout today. I'm really trying to. The doctor, I gave up on them a long time ago and whatever. I've got one, like I said. So I just got to keep working. So to fight my acidosis, I created this meal. This meal will, like, man, when I cook like this, I feel full. I feel energized, and that's what restaurant means. It comes from the old French rhyme to restore or restaurante, meaning the restoration of. That's what the food is supposed to do. That's what all food is supposed to do. This meal is so inexpensive. That's why my show is so long, all right? I want you to know every nuance of the creation of the meal. Not that it was, we created it with a cornstarch slurry with a little bit of plum sauce, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of chicken, and the rice, and the sesame seeds, and the nice little dressing of the on top with the sesame seeds, which were raw compared to the other ones that were wet. Makes a difference in texture. And then a little bit of bitter on top with the zest. That was a crowning edge to the bitter. Okay, that very last little bit of bitter that attacked with that last little bit of sweet and heat. Wonderful in that background. I mean, just it rode right on the edge of where I wanted it to ride. Okay. That's why my show, you're going to find my videos are 10 minutes long because I teach you something. Other times I can't shut up about other stuff. But really, I really try to focus as much as I can on giving you a lot of information. And the more information I give you, the better way you can see food. And see food as not this huge complex design that I just created in my head, but rather simple. Okay? 5 flavors. Aromas. We can smell things, man. We can smell if they go together. All right, Chef John, the Ghetto Gourmet. And what's eat better in your home? Peace, y'all. And we were talking about this meal right here. And it's chicken, black bean, garlic, and a plum sauce. Sweetened with a little bit of sugar. I've got a hot Hunan oil heat in there, a little bit of cayenne in there. Black sesame seeds, white sesame seeds, cooked in toasted sesame oil with a little bit of cornstarch slurry with a dash of chicken stock in there. Also, we use lime juice and a little bit of lime zest on top, and a white arborio rice right there. It's a sweet, earthy rice. I wanted to do that in combination with the whole concept of the meal, all right? That's why my show takes a while. I want you guys to learn. I'm not just here showing you a recipe. I'm teaching you how to be a better chef and how to be a better cook in your own home. And really, once you learn a few of my tricks, you can like make so many sauces, so many different Asian dishes, so many different things in your home, and save lots of money. My $3 chicken is going to leave. All right, that was too much for me to eat in one sitting too. Peace, y'all. Much love.